So I wanted to do a quick update on the current status of MidnightBSD. Um, I've been working on WebKit updates for Midori and Epiphany specifically to try and get a newer browser working and basically make YouTube work again on MidnightBSD. So at this point, the version of WebKit I have is 2.22.0, which is about a year old right now. I'm planning on working on newer versions. I've had to update a lot of dependencies and kind of work through some of the newer versions. So YouTube's working with the current version now. I fixed the TLS issue that was happening. There are a couple of ports that needed updating for that, including glib networking, libsoup, um, a couple of the other dependent libraries for that. I forget now. Um, so that's taken care of. On the front of um, image editing, so I'm kind of blocked on um, the ILM base library right now and OpenEXR. So those ports are having trouble building with the like 2.3.0 releases, I think. The CMake files are broken in those versions, and the um, traditional configure gmake setup is causing me some issues with the localization libraries. So I'm trying to work through that. I'm hoping to get that taken care of so that I can update like GIMP and some of the other um, image applications. That's kind of a blocker for that. Um, some people have asked me lately about Firefox. The issue with running a current Firefox is Rust. So in order to compile Firefox now, you must have Rust. And Rust depends on specific versions of LLVM and CLang being ported, which in turn requires native compiler support for your operating system. So last year, I tried to upstream some patches to LLVM, and they rejected them. So I haven't been able to get that done. I'm going to probably kind of do my own rogue patch set for that short term and try to get Rust working. But that's been the blocker for actually even trying to start working on a new Firefox port. Um, the version we have now doesn't build, and it's really old, and um, I wouldn't even recommend using it if it did build. So that's kind of the situation with that. I did actually start working in February on porting Firefox 52 to MidnightBSD, and I got pretty far into that and hit a couple snags. And by the time that I got it kind of working, it was so old at that point I didn't feel like it was helpful to users either. So for the time being, Epiphany and Midori are the recommended web browsers, or any of the text browsers that we have. Um, Linux Opera is also in ports, and that works still. But of course, that's ridiculously old as well because it's still the Presto Engine version. We can't run Linux Chromium on any BSD, as far as I know, due to some of the sandboxing stuff. So that's kind of where we're at with browsing. I would love some help working and getting Rust working, and just in general, getting upstream patches out there for various different things, regardless of what library or whatever that we're using. Any help with ports or even pull requests on GitHub for our own project to just get some new updated ports would be really helpful. But primarily, that's where I'm focused. I'm planning on doing a 1.2 release probably in the next month or two. And that's going to be kind of a small release, but it's going to have like a new version of Open Secure Shell and a couple of other libraries, and mostly external items that are in MidnightBSD that need to get updated, Perl and stuff like that, because there's a lot of security related things that need to get put in. And then the following release after that is going to be a larger release, and there's going to be a lot of code changes in that. I've also started a project to migrate from Subversion to GitHub for the source repository. I don't have that done yet, but I'm planning on finishing that up in the next month or so. There's a lot of like figuring out configuration stuff to map the different non-standard directory structure that we have in the source repo, especially for the contrib and vendor branch stuff. Handling that properly in Git is kind of a mess. So I'm still working through that. I do a couple runs and it didn't quite come out right. I wouldn't go with that. So that's pretty much where we're at right now. If you guys have any questions, you can put them in chat or go into IRC or use the forums. Those are starting to get more popular. I check them at least once a week. I try to do it more often when I can. And that's it. So thanks for watching.